Your buyer is buying with all cash. There is an exhibit for that. So we're going to take a closer look at that. It's the all cash exhibit. So instead of having the conventional loan exhibit, FHA, VA, USD exhibit, we have our all cash sale exhibit. Follows our normal routine of putting our exhibit letter in here, our offer date, and the property address for our offer. Pretty simple form. So we are going to pick one of the two boxes in A or the box in B. Okay. And the first question it's asking is, while we are making the offer based on a cash sale and the buyer has the cash to make the purchase, is there a chance they may take out a loan? Okay. So either A, they reserve the right to pay all or a portion of the purchase price by obtaining a institutional first mortgage. Okay. They're going to the bank and they're taking out your typical loan. Or they reserve the right to pay all or a portion of the purchase price by obtaining a non-institutional first mortgage or other loan, including private hard money loan. Okay. They're either getting a loan from a bank or they're getting a loan from a hard money lender. Okay. One of those two options is going to be chosen if they're going to take out a loan, if there's a chance they're not going to pay cash. Or it's B, they don't have a right to take out a loan, they're paying cash, period. Okay. The difference being between the two, in either case, understand there's no financing protection on these first two. If they're unable to get the loan, they still have to buy cash. Okay. But if we do have a loan, there is a chance that that buyer can exercise their 8-day unilateral extension that was guaranteed to them in the purchase and sale agreement. If they have no right to a mortgage, they have no right to extend for 8 days, and their only option is to pay cash for the property. Okay. Since they're paying for cash for the property, we don't have a pre-qualification letter from a bank. So we want to verify that they have enough funds to actually exercise the property. So within blank days of the binding agreement date, buyers shall be obligated to provide or cause to be provided to the seller information describing the specific detail of all of the sources of buyer's fund to purchase the property. We don't need to know all the money that they have, but all the sources that they may be using to actually pay for this particular property. So what's reasonable there? Probably 3 days, okay, is a very reasonable number to put in there. Within 3 days, they ought to be able to prove to us that they have enough funds to purchase the property. Okay. Continue to have a little bit of legalese in here. And then we get down to our appraisal contingency. In addition to the other rights of the buyer set in, this agreement shall be or shall not be subject to the property appraising for at least the purchase price. Okay. Just because I'm paying cash does not necessarily mean that I'm willing to pay anything for it regardless of the appraisal. I want some verification that the property is actually worth what it is I'm paying for it. So I want shall to be in there. Okay. I may not care what the appraised value is. I'm confident in my assessment of the property, and it really doesn't matter what the property's worth now. I'm more concerned with what the property is going to be after I fix it up. Okay, so the appraisal is really irrelevant to me. So it shall not be subject to an appraisal. You have to pick the one that works the best for your buyer. Okay, and then who's going to pick the appraiser? Well, typically on a cash deal, the buyer is the one that is selecting the appraiser. Okay, they're definitely the one that's paying for it. Okay, but who's picking it? Typically, it's going to be the buyer. Okay. Other things that are in here, what happens if the property does not appraise? Okay, if any appraisal performed pursuant, according to the exhibit, is for less than the purchase price of the property, the buyer shall have the right to request within blank days from the binding agreement date that the seller reduce the sales price of the property to a price not less than the appraised price. So just like with all of our other transactions, we're probably looking at wanting to see 28 days in here, okay? But part of that's going to be determined by how long is your due diligence period, because we're probably not going to pay for an appraisal until after we've finished the inspection process and are convinced that we definitely do want to move forward with the property before we go pay for an appraisal. And guys, that's all there is on this form. So a pretty simple one. Buyer and seller just initial it. So have any questions about this, call me, text me, email me. I'm always here to help. Have a great day.